Drip, 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 drip. That's the sound of the manipulation faucet starting to dry up. That's the sound of the manipulation faucet starting to dry. Be more dry, be less populated than it was in the past. All the world's democratization of technology is in a positive light and sense of the word. It is helping to dry up the manipulation pools that have been spawning the world in terms of garnering and gatekeeping technology that is so not just meant for a couple of people but has been garnered and has been gatekept for many, many years by the lucky few that have had access to be able to utilize what is known as money, what is known as monetary energy, and that monetary energy is known as a thing which is supposed to be the thing that is supposed to be the cause of the solution of problems. It's supposed to be the cause of solutions of problems. Monetary energy is supposed to be the solution to problems. That's the purpose for monetary energy, is to solve the world's problems. Money is supposed to do that. Money is supposed to help the world's problems. But the typical currencies in typical banks, in typical institutions, has caused a manipulation trend in the nature of life. It has spanned and spawned for many years until now. Technology has become more democratized than ever, and it is helping to dry up the manipulation wells. Oh, dry up the manipulation wells. Dry up the manipulation wells. Oh. Welcome to the news. Oh, trying to dry up the manipulation wells. Just like in yesteryear, we've got all these luxury brands, all these brands that are multi-billion dollar brands that are everywhere in the world, that are super familiar because many of them have had access to people to develop certain art and develop certain printing, just like scarves and things that are super unique and such things. But because it is difficult a little bit to be able to transpose some of the artistic features onto some of these garments that cost a lot of money, it sometimes in the past has caused a bit of an irregularity and a bit of an imbalance. And so now with AI, anybody can be an artist, anybody can be the vehicle to be able to drive a business vehicle. Whoa. Certain big corporations that have held these large, luxurious brand companies, they don't need to necessarily be the ones to hold the bandwagon together all the time any longer, because people can step in and now make art, and they can use technology to be able to expand their whole brands around the world. And it is time to activate more Transformer suits around the whole world. And that is the purpose of today's podcast, is to be able to revisit yesterday's podcast again, but enlighten more so the features of what the unfulfilled potential market actually is. In essence, it's like yesterday, it was kind of a brief reference into what the nature of the unfulfilled potential market is, by talking about how becoming an accountability coach to random people in the world is literally just a way to make money on the fly, a way to make money on the side, in essence. So yeah. And at the same time, to be able to reach in to the mind and the brain, to be able to think about the statistics all around the world and the nature of money and the nature of the interest of money to be able to solve problems around the world, and how, in essence, it has not been functional in terms of what the imbalance has looked like in the past in the world. Whoa. So, in the way that this is a reflection on the entertainment industry of the past, it's a similar relevance, it's a similar correspondence to the entertainment industries of the past, because they correspond to the fashion industries as well. But at the same time, we're talking about three different things, which is monetary energy trying to solve problems, and the fashion industry, which is democratized now, more so type of a situation to be able to get people's messages out there and have them also be able to participate in these multi-billion dollar markets known as somewhat the entertainment industry. And at the same time, when you then take another step back and you acknowledge how the world's money is supposed to be able to solve problems, in quotes, the imbalances in the world are easy to spot and notice and see in terms of being able to solve problems for people all around the world. It's not exactly like that. It's a significant imbalance. It's like the United States has, maybe 5/7 of the world's wealth, of all the world's wealth, maybe even 6/7, potentially 6/7 of all the world's wealth is within the United States, which is kind of an imbalance, and that is not solving the world's problems through money. No, that's not exactly happening. No, because it's an imbalance of wealth, and that imbalance, even within these brands, within the amount of money that is within that the aforementioned country, and the lack of distribution to the rest of the world, it corresponds to a triangle connecting all three of those items: the entertainment industry, the lack of distribution throughout the whole world, and the nature of money in of itself being able to try to attempt to solve problems, which is not actually doing. Because if it was actually solving problems, after all, then money wouldn't necessarily even need to exist. Ultimately, after all, because there would be no problems if it was doing what it was doing, and it would have fulfilled the potential of what money is supposed to do, after all. And so now, when you take a step back and you look at the observation spectrum of how things look in the current day, it is similar to acknowledging that money is supposed to solve problems, and therefore people are supposed to be rewarded for money for different companies and items, such things in the world that cause value, that actually solve problems in the world, not serve different companies and spaces and places in the world that have too much money and an irregularity of money, that are also trying to splurge that money and not save that money and not spend that money responsibly, and are overspending and spending irregularly and spending on indulgences and spending on luxuries and spending on all these things in place and replacing and displacing the nature of the distribution of the good, of the purpose, of the problem-solving properties of money, to be able to try to serve people around the whole entire world, to be able to solve the world and the global problems of the globe's problems, as the purpose of money is supposed to do, as the purpose of the nature of entrepreneurship is also supposed to do, meaning the purpose of companies, the purpose of business, the purpose of commerce as a whole is supposed to do that. It's supposed to solve the world's problems. It's not supposed to solve the United States' problems. So when taking a step back and trying to acknowledge how to then try to look at the whole market of the world, and how the market's needs and demands of the whole world connect to the monetary energy system, the monetary money system, the money energy system that exists in the current day and state of being as it is today, that when you take a couple steps back and you acknowledge the spectrum of items, what is more valuable than monetary energy based on the manipulation of the monetary energy system that has happened in the past is connecting and contributing and consolidating the mindset into philanthropy energy, as opposed to monetary energy, because philanthropy energy is the green type of energy that just focuses on the actual nature of solving problems. Philanthropy energy is just focused on distributing the good in that energy to the world. And when it comes down to the unfulfilled potential market, what all people in the world want to be doing is not pushing and shoving for money, which is monetary energy, to be able to get it, especially in rich countries, and then be able to migrate into rich countries to be able to then try to get some of the monetary energy to be able to send off to other places where there's less monetary energy, for example. But the purpose is to solve problems fundamentally so, as opposed to anything else being relevant. What's more relevant than anything else is acknowledging the entertainment industry hopefully dying and falling. And I don't want to say hopefully, but I'm saying in the respect that they hold the crown jewels of the entertainment industry, which is in essence a manipulation of the industry that tells stories. And also those are fake stories, so they're not doing anybody any good in reality, realistically. It's just acknowledging the imbalance. It's acknowledging the breaking and the cracking of the imbalance of all these systems that don't really matter to begin with, and all the energy and the effort that revolves around these systems that don't really matter to begin with, like scarves with art on them that are sold by companies that make billions of dollars from these scarves that are made in China regardless, and they're manipulated in the marketing tactics for being told to the masses of people that they are not necessarily conceptually made or developed or manufactured in China, and the manipulation of attention is redirected in different ways in different places in the world for there to be custom manufacturing attached to these high-end brands that make billions of dollars just through manipulation. And it's really that imbalance and that impurity of thought, of mind, of hope, of purpose that hopefully is crumbling to the ground through the democratization of technology, after all, that's empowering all people to be able to step up their personal brands into the universe so that 8 billion people are able to acknowledge and recognize and respond to the purpose of entrepreneurship in the whole world, which entails everyone in the world grabbing a shovel to be able to improve the whole entire world. And what that actually looks like is everyone becoming an entrepreneur, because that's everyone choosing a problem, that's everyone choosing a hole in the whole world and choosing to jump through it in essence. And what is a problem in the meantime of the nature of the current system, or how it has been in the meantime of analyzing it in the current day, versus the potential, the conceptual potential for all people and the whole world to be able to function as a functionally operational process and mechanism, is the sacrifice of that potential. And it's an unfulfilled potential that's not being fulfilled necessarily. And when acknowledging that imbalance in the world, and that imbalance of monetary energy, and that imbalance of philanthropy energy that's spread at the current time not that well, it's spread thin in other places in the world, and when acknowledging this imbalance, then it opens up the concept and the idea of where the demand is, where's the opportunity, where's the conceptual openings, from where are the holes, where are the gaps in the marketplace. What is the opportunity cost from all of this imbalance in the world necessarily? And that imbalance opens up the conceptual ability to be able to solve problems in other countries in the world and other places and spaces where there's lacking items, there's lacking resources, there's lacking conceptual mechanisms to be able to develop more mechanically processes, develop more conceptual, perpetual, monetary and energy, and that is resolved and solved in many instances with the new thoughts about philanthropy energy, to be able to span and spawn around the whole world, so that imbalance is able to reflect upon the unfulfilled potential market. That imbalance is able to acknowledge the demand that's in the world and being able to step into that demand around the whole world by activating all people as entrepreneurs. Because that unfulfilled potential is acknowledged and lies within all people in many instances of the world, especially in rich countries where they work for these large companies and large brands that have too much money and too much monetary energy, and therefore they kind of hold on to people as well as the potential that's within the people to then be able to, in essence, have to hold their time and their value and their conceptual potential within them, held up within these companies that are not necessarily needing to exist to begin with. And that's sort of the imbalance that reflects upon the demand in the whole world. The demand in the whole world that reflects upon the unfulfilled potential market. The unfulfilled potential market, the holes within the people in the world that have the potential to do more, that have the potential to, when you ask them what they would do with unlimited money, what would they do with unlimited money? If you ask 8 billion people in the world, what would they do with unlimited money? All of them, for the most part, would be able to develop and carve out their own process, their own pipeline, their own pathway, their own indications and their own indicators to be able to develop their own chiseled out ecosystem for how to develop, solving their own sets of problems, their own niches of problems, their own contributions to the world as a globe, as a whole, because everybody in the world wouldn't want to just sit on top of a giant pile of money the way that many companies and corporations want to do in this day and age, because that, in essence, has to do more than anything with, it seems like, politics, I suppose you could say, which is like an old world item at this juncture in time, because ultimately we're forced to work together, ultimately because the world is so small and the energy is so big and the energy is growing in terms of technology energy, that ultimately we are getting to the space where the unfulfilled potential market is obligating itself to be fulfilled because of the instance of the necessity for all people to become entrepreneurs, for everybody to be able to focus on different problems around the world that cannot necessarily just be resolved by technology, although technology in of itself is kind of a unique item for just being able to resolve problems. But regardless, the imbalances of the world as they are right now connect to giant conceptual potential that's unfulfilled potential. When you ask every 8 billion people in the world what they would be doing with their time if they had unlimited money and resources to do that with, that opens up the gap of the potential for everybody to be able to fulfill that potential, after all, by developing businesses and having somewhat of the conceptual ability to be able to connect with some of the upside of some of those businesses as a significant conceptual business plan, as one, to be able to try to step in to develop that connection between the self and that potential portal into fulfilling the unfulfilled potential in that market and within individuals and groups and all of those things combined. That it's similar to HR companies. HR companies connect people and such things with companies. No, it's similar to the entertainment industry is what I meant to say. So it's like connecting. It's like the entertainment industry and talent management and talent managing companies for specific like an actor, for example, in the entertainment industry, for example. But it's transposing it and it's transitioning it to. I was just going to say a second ago that in the HR world, you get 20% of the money when you help somebody in a company get a new employee. So that's 20%. But whereas in the entertainment world, the agent gets 10%. So what I'm getting at, I guess, is reflecting upon the greater value within the greater business world as opposed to just the entertainment world, which is just a section of that greater industry and business world. Whereas when you reflect on something called the edutainment world, not the entertainment world, but the edutainment world, which is it's like the opposite of the entertainment world because it has to do with the real stories, the real narratives. It has to do with the business music of the world. And so that's like everybody in the world being like a star, like a famous actor. Basically, they're the famous actor within their own personal brands, in essence. And so therefore, that 20%, in theory, that 20% in quotes, that is a reflection of that higher value to be able to connect with that higher value of people's businesses like an agent, in essence, in the entertainment industry for the edutainment industry, which is AKA not the music industry, which is the entertainment side, but if you do the inverse of that, it's the business music edutainment side, but it's the business music agency, in essence, business music management company, in essence, which therefore, because it's a normal business, takes 20%. So basically, it's like saying that it's a lot bigger piece of the pie. It's a lot bigger piece of the pie. It's a lot bigger piece of the pie. It's all the other businesses that are not in the entertainment business in the world. So that's the inverse of the entertainment business. And it's called the business music management agencies or managers business, right? And then also the edutainment industry. So in essence, it's taking the same framework from the entertainment industry and putting it into all other businesses in the world that have real stories that have become the new trend, and that's AKA the unfulfilled potential market. And that's also what was being referred to yesterday in yesterday's podcast, in essence. So today was just to be able to reflect upon how large the size of that market is, in essence, as opposed to, in essence, just like focusing on the entertainment industry of yesterday, which in the past has, in my opinion, similar to the fashion industry, just been a manipulation bucket, which is hopefully somewhat wanting to dry up because of the nature of market demand, because of the nature of other people actually being able to step up and fulfill more non-fictional stories, to be able to develop more non-fictional narrative stories that are not wasting people's time, life, and energy by focusing on them, and developing real world value by developing real world superheroes in real life that are just being documented as opposed to being created. And that is the new nature of the landscape and spectrum of the future of business, which is making it fun. It's taking and leaking out the manipulation, conceptualization from the entertainment and the fashion industries, which are all aligned and all connected together under the entertainment industry umbrella. And they are transitioning it, and they are shedding light upon what is the new, relevant, exciting era and plethora of new demand pouring into the effervescent space, which has to do with everybody in the world becoming the best version of themselves, which is the edutainment space in the world. It's flip-flopping the inverse. It's taking the light away from the entertainment industry and shedding it into, reflecting it into the edutainment industry, which is AKA the business music industry. Business music management also is a version of the connection into connecting with artists, connecting with entrepreneurs in this edutainment industry, which is becoming just relevant and connected to all entrepreneurs in the world, becoming the new superstars, the new actors, AKA Elon Musk is kind of like that. If you haven't noticed, all right, that's the unfulfilled potential market. And yesterday was talking about how you can meet people and just try to become their accountability coach to become one of those business music managers on the fly. In essence, you're managing their business music because you're drawing out that business music from them on the fly. It's like going into a bar when they didn't even know they wanted to sing, and you heard them like maybe singing karaoke, or you just heard them behind, the bar. Maybe they're a bartender and they're just singing because they're having a good time, and then you recruit them and make them into a singer. That's what yesterday's conversation was about, is making people, using the nature of accountability by drawing upon what they want to do in life, by asking them what they would do with unlimited amounts of money. And ultimately it has to do with solving problems. It has to do with solving some problems, because that's what the nature of all people want to do in life, in essence. So that's called leveraging every human and humanity's ability to be able to contribute to the betterment of every other human's ability to be able to make life to each other and for each other on an ongoing basis better for each other, in essence. And that's called aka the global philanthropy energy grid, because all human beings are connected to the global philanthropy energy grid, and all human beings are already all connected to the philanthropy energy grid. But unfortunately, the manipulation that has to do with monetary energy currency is hopefully able to leak out of the manipulation pools where it's at, and can come down, trickle down to the people that have nothing in the world. Trickle down to the people that have nothing in the world, because people that have everything in the world do not need to have everything in the world. There's no reason for them to take the silver spoons out of their mouths, because they're not that special. It's just that simple. Nobody's that special. Nobody is that special. Everybody in the world deserves food, basic internet, basic housing, and basic security. In essence, it's just kind of like common decency, almost like not spitting on people in society. Not spitting on people in society is like basic common decency in essence, but that common decency had to be grown eventually. We had to grow from like being wild animals in the forests, from actually just spitting on each other in the past, because if you did that in the forest, like, it wouldn't be that crazy or uncommon, whereas now in society it would be kind of strange to just spit on somebody out of the blue. And it's not to say it doesn't happen, it's just not the norm, and it's not sort of cool, and it's not sort of typical, and it's not sort of acceptable. And that's really the nature of how the world is now at the same time. How 8 billion people in the world, some of them are uncared for. And that's just kind of the bottom line. And that leaks into the demand and sheds light upon the demand of the unfulfilled potential market, which is aka the edutainment market, which aka reflects on the power and the ability for every 8 billion human beings to pick up a shovel, to be able to add, to fill in the holes in the world of market demand. Fill in the holes of the pools of market demand in the world that relate to and correspond directly to problems that are in the center of those holes that are pools of market demand. And there's suction for demand of market demand within the center of those pools, within the center of those pools. And a little side note thought tip is to be able to lighten your vehicle, yourself as a vehicle, because all people are vehicles. We're transformer suits, we're vehicles. To lighten your vehicles. A good way to start down the path of becoming that entrepreneur side of the self, alter ego, superhero self, is to be able to lighten the vehicle, get rid of everything else, just like you're a race car. If you're a race car and you're driving down the track, you want to get rid of everything else, all the baggage, like stupid things that don't matter, relationships that are dumb, people that are liabilities, all these things. You want to lighten it up, just like you're a race car. You want to be a race car, you want to be fast, you want to be able to get around the world, because the world is small. After all, we want to be able to improve the best technologies that we have to be able to work together and be able to connect with each other in the fastest time possible. And to be able to do that, you need to lighten your load and just hang out with asset people that make you an asset, other energies around you that make you an asset. That makes you go faster, that makes you not held back in essence by dumb things. And you got to just kind of think of yourself as like a race car, to be able to let off all of the baggage, the luggage, because you can't go faster without it necessarily. And you just got to think of it like that, like you're trying to go, you have this one life, right? Everyone's got that, right, in essence. And we're trying to extend those lives into infinity if possible, like through like robot technology, ideally, I guess you could say. And in the meantime, you want to optimize your process, you want to optimize your tune. If you're a race car, you want to optimize your tune, so you want to consistently be able to recalibrate your tune by getting offloading things that you don't need, and focusing on your best performance, which is solving the best, most impactful problems in the world with your investing and your marketing capabilities, your two hands. And then at the same time, getting rid of the liabilities at the same time, so your car can go as fast as possible, be as light as possible, have as least materials deals as possible, and be as least emotionally connected to liabilities and things that tie you down and are annoying as possible. Just get rid of them and change into new ones that are hopefully people that are positive and that are assets. Because you have to think of yourself as a race car like that. Like the race car doesn't move, it doesn't go fast, it doesn't perform with more weight. So you literally want to strip every little piece of weight off of it that is possible. Yourself as a race car. Yourself as a race car. Yourself as a race car. Yeah. And the last thing to mention in essence is like opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is a good way to think of the mindset to be able to also make your race car go faster by acknowledging that it's a good way to make deals. It's a good way to transpose with opportunity. It's a good way to also develop demand for yourself in the world by having an opportunity cost mindset, by just thinking every day what you could be doing that you're not doing. Think about what you could be doing, what you're not doing. If you had infinity money, what could you be doing with that infinity money that you're not doing right now, this second necessarily? It's a conceptual way to conceptually make deals with people and trade with people around the world as well, and leverage the internet and use new AI searches to be able to find the most specific tools that you can find around the world, and then try to make deals with people by connecting dots on other front ends and transposing the value of those dots with other people that want what you've got in terms of the work that you've done to develop certain package developing, to be able to trade the packages that you've made in terms of energy, to conceptually give that energy and that value for other people, so that other people feel the need for opportunity costs, not miss out on opportunity costs, which they're going to miss out upon if they don't go with some of the packages and some of the research that you've done to try to add value to some of the people that you want to work with by trading packages, in essence, by giving them value, to be able to give them some kind of offer that is good and useful and tradable, to be able to get what you want, to be able to use opportunity costs to leverage that, to be able to transpose value and transpose the value from one thing and the work that you've done into, and flip over to be able to then work with the people that you want to work with, and slide into the value that you want to find, and connect with the certain value that you want to find, and develop deal structure from opportunity cost, deal structure from preaching opportunity cost to people, and also preaching opportunity cost to yourself, because opportunity cost develops an idea and an ability to be able to try to then, therefore, more so easily see the holes in the world, of developing the type of holes that you could be filling, the markets that you could be filling, the markets that you could be participating in, by thinking in an opportunity cost way, all of the things that you are not focused on right this minute, that you could be focused on in terms of research that you could be doing, that you could be also conceptually focused on and conceptually connected to in a mental sense, and such things in an awareness type of conceptualization. And through that mindset, expand in a perpetual way. All right, thanks again, Dinky Tech. Bye, peace, bye.